Britt Baker returning. So, Baker turns up on TV, AEW Dynamite, and Dutch is about to fall asleep.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go. Give us a recap of what she said. This was like a 15-minute segment.
Oh my God, they just wore it out and went on and went on and went on. I got it, girls. I got it. You come to the ring and then you have uh Melissa, what's her name?
What,
Monet.
Mercedes?
Mercedes Monet, and they come to the ring. First of all, it went way too long. We kind of had the idea, and I hated when that uh, what was the first girl's name? I've
Britt
already
Baker.
forgot her. Yeah, she
It,
wants to talk. She wants to talk to people like a teacher or and the future and the past and the present. Get to it. You've been hurt. You're coming back. You want the title, and then have Monet come out. It could have been. I think that was switched off several times. Now, and when they left after 15 minutes of this, they didn't even have any kind of physical altercation between them at all. And Mercedes Monet is a heel, I guess now, but I didn't like her when she was a baby face. And it is better to turn her heel because she is just irritating little bitch. As I want to see somebody just beat the living crap out of her, but I don't think we're going to see that. Then she talks about at one point, is this where we talk about where Tony Khan is flying her everywhere?
Oh, we'll get to that very shortly. We've got our own
Okay.
thing with Mercedes Monet, very much so. I mean, people have missed Britt Baker quite a lot. She's been gone for like a year, pretty much. She said that she had a few minor injuries, including herniated discs and a torn hip labrum. And then she said she felt good until one day back in November when the room started spinning and her right side went numb. Essentially, she'd had a mini stroke, is really what it is. And then, she said, that won't stop me from coming back to wrestling. It's like, that'd stop me. If
Yeah,
I was
that would
having a
stop me
stroke.
too. That would stop me too. Listen, she's already been forewarned that a stroke, she's already had a mini one, right? You said?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So she's going to have to watch out. Is this, and I understand loving professional wrestling because I'll talk about that later. It is somewhat of a drug. If you could market that drug and sell it over the counter, be the number one drug in the world. But now she's had a health issue about having a stroke, and she needs to take that seriously. Because if she has a stroke now, you know what the people are going to say? Well, she knew about it, but she took the chance anyway. So the sympathy factor really falls off then. So I hope she knows what she's doing. And of course, there's no guarantee she's going to have a stroke. I hope she doesn't. But I mean, when you hear something like that, but she's going to go ahead with it anyway, well, she's taking her own health or her life in her hands, and I hope it works out for her. But her and Monet, would you buy a ticket to see it right now?
Do you know, at the very least, I thought, between those two, at least it felt like it was a big match between the women where they just really haven't had many big match fields at all.
I got it, but it takes 14 minutes to get that across.
No, it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we were just talking about the previous segment with Paul Heyman, and I said, man, that breezed by. It got the points over. There was no, protracted stalling. Because I'm going to mention this with the Heyman thing again. So when he's got, delay, and he's going to put it on...
Calm down. Relax.
All right.
Breathe deeply.
There was the bit where he's going to say, you are not my tribal chief, or where he's going to put the lei on his head. In old WWE segment producing, that would have lasted minutes, and you'd be looking back and forth and up, down, and then say it. But they just sort of just got over with it, and I appreciate that more. It felt a bit more organic. Whereas now Mercedes Monet's sort of in the WWE mold, and she's bringing the WWE mold of a few years ago over to AEW. With all these injuries with Britt Baker, how do they even happen? I mean, is it just Are people bumping wrong? Are people bumping too much? Are people just taking too many high-flying risks? Why are so many people in this day and age getting horrible, severe injuries and even at the risk of a stroke now?
Yeah, okay, how many times a week do the AEW talent work?
On average?
Yes.
Probably less than once a week.
Okay. How you going to train your body when you only get in the ring once a week for TV? I mean, you gotta get in shape for this, but they're not doing it. So therefore, and apparently they're not warming up properly. And they just think, well, I'll just get in the ring and I'll warm up there. Well, you can do that. Hopefully, it works out. But with Britt Baker, it didn't work out. She got hurt badly enough. She had to take a year off. So there's still something wrong with that internal system at AEW that they still haven't worked out the kinks, and they've been in the business for 5 years.
We shall move on to Mercedes Moné, and this was something. In fact, just before we do, actually, what do you think of Tony Khan hiding pretty much everybody's injury status? Because we didn't know any of this for 10 months, and it's one of those things where I sort of think, well, that could be a segment. How is Britt Baker doing? On AWTV, break up the matches a little bit. She's recovering, she's doing this, she's doing that, she'll be back in 2 months, that kind of thing. I'd like to know, injury updates and be included in the process as a fan in that sense.
Well, to say that she's coming along at the 6-month mark, she won't be ready for another 6 months, is premature. I think that's left up to the talent if they want to tell their fans how they're doing. Only when it gets close to their appearance should AEW even be talking about it. So I don't really hold that against Tony Khan. That's a company decision, which I don't see the hurt in doing that, because don't promote them way out in the future because they may not show up. But with a month out, they're pretty well straightened out, pretty much healed up, and they're ready to go.